too. The whole ball of wax and the whole 9 yards on me and you. I'll risk the farm, I'll take a chance, 'cause we raise the stakes from a one-night stand to a true romance. You're the one, you're the one, and you hung the moon, stars and sun, you're the one. And you're the light of the whole wide, 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 wide world. You're the one. Can't no hurricane blow this house down. Not even an earthquake 7.9 will turn my head around. And there's a blizzard outside. Yeah, the winds are strong, but I'm a rock steady on my feet where I belong. Or send a twist of my way, let the lightning strike, but it won't tear apart this house of love. Let it howl all night. And you're the one, you're the one. You hung the moon, stars and sun. You're the one. Yeah. And you're the light of the whole wide, wide, wide world. You're the one. Play it, boys. And now the Great Salt Lake, the Gulf of Mexico, that big Okeechobee, the Atlantic and Pacific and the Shenandoah. You know the water is wide, it's cold and it's deep, and it all rolls together in a big blue ball at my baby's feet. And I'll catch the rain falling from the sky, and I'll bring it in a bucket to you, baby, when your well runs dry. 'Cause you're the one, you're the one, you're the one. You hung the moon and the stars and sun. You're the one. And you're the light of the whole wide, wide, wide world. You're the one. And you're the light of the whole wide, 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 wide world. You're the one. Now, baby, you're the one. Baby, you're the one. Thank you. You're out there okay? Not too loud for you? Mr. Soundman, if I could have a touch more of my guitar in the monitor, just about that much. I'm originally from South Carolina, and I live in the Ozarks, northwest Arkansas. It's a terrible place. You don't ever want to go there. I write often about my home state. South Carolina is a interesting place. Think Strom Thurmond and stop thinking there. South Carolina just revived my interest in the state because it celebrated a favorite son that I never thought the conservative city of Greenville would ever do. Josh White now has a 3-piece sculpture monument downtown. And right down the street is Bob Jones University. So the contrast is startling. I've always loved Josh White and loved his music. And I always play this song because it kind of grounds me, because I used to listen to him all the time. Never got to see him live. He died in '69. But His son still plays around. I don't think he comes down this way very often. Josh White was a natural man, held a plug nickel in the palm of his hand. He raised it up like a glass to his eye. What he saw through the nickel made the natural man cry. Lord, 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 this morning heard a natural man cry. Then through the nickel a vision arose. He saw an actor in the jungle with a bone in his nose. He saw a maid in an apron with a Hollywood grin. Heard a singer at the back door slamming again. Lord, 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 he heard the back door slamming again. High upon a mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Oh, Josh White got the gift of song, but he never saw the promised land. He never saw the promised land. So Josh White laid the nickel down. He put his hands in his pockets and he strolled into town. He looked to the left and over to the right, but he couldn't find a place to spend his money that night. Lord, 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 he sure wanna spend some money tonight. Yeah, he ran to the hotel, dollar in hand, but they wouldn't take $1 from no colored man. He said, "It's getting mighty late, mister, where can I go?" He said, "Well, play me a tune, I'll let you sleep on the floor." Lord, 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 Josh White asleep on the floor. High upon a mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Oh, Josh White got the gift of song, but he never saw the promised land. He never saw the promised land. Way up yonder where the angels are found, all the blood from his fingers stain the heavenly ground. There ain't nothing to do but to do what you do, and you do it till they roll a stone over you. Lord, 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 don't let them roll a stone over you. High up on the mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Oh, Josh White got the gift of song, but he never saw the promised land. High upon a mountain, I heard a cold black angel sing. And I bet a plug nickel if he came back tomorrow, it wouldn't change a goddamn thing. I bet it wouldn't change a goddamn thing. Oh, oh. That's for Josh White. Thank you. So what did you do in your pandemic years? I sat at home and learned a significantly complex recording software that I was incapable of understanding. But having some friends who did understand it, they taught it to me in the presence of my left brain PhD wife. who translated everything that was said so that I could understand it. And so for 2 years, I've been working on a CD which I've recorded at home and of which I'm extremely proud. One of the songs on this new CD, two of them actually are tributes to musician friends of mine who have passed away. And some of you may know that in North Florida, was it last year? I can't remember when it was. No, it was before that. David Olney was sitting on the stage with a group of friends playing in a song circle on the stage. And he stopped his song, mid-song, apologized to his friends, and his head fell on his chest, and he passed away right there. And it was an astounding way to go. I'm glad he was doing what he wanted to do and didn't have to be at home, with tubes and things and whatnot. So there's good and bad in everything, I suppose. The bad is that we lost a great American songwriter, especially someone who could write a song like this. If my eyes were blind, the darkest night could never hold a mystery. If my eyes were blind, I'd hold your features fast within my memory, within my mind. If my eyes were blind, should my voice grow weak, never with a word would I deny thee. Should my voice grow weak, only you could hear the voice inside me. I would not speak, should my voice grow weak. Should my mind grow dim and innocent as on the day God made me, should my mind grow dim, I'd love you like a child or a baby. I'd be gentle as a lamb, should my mind grow dim. When my youth is gone, in my eyes you shall remain a beauty. And when my youth is gone, in my ears I'll hear you singing sweetly, the sweetest song. When my youth is gone, and when my body dies, darling, I could never leave you lonely. My spirit shall arise to comfort and to care for you only, to sympathize when my body dies. When my youth is gone, should my mind grow dim, should my voice grow weak, if my eyes were blind. David Olney song. Thank you. If you've not heard David Olney's music, I suppose most people in this room have, you need to go look him up. It's spelled just like that town right over there. This is another song from that album. It's not a new one. It's one that I didn't like the way I recorded it in 2003. And so here I was, and I could do anything I wanted with my own recording. So I've rewritten it. I wrote it with a fellow named Jeff Bartley from Cambridge, Massachusetts. And who at the time was suffering from Great Depression. And he came out to the campground where I was staying outside Cambridge. And showed up one day, and it was, I was out there in a tent in my rags, and he comes out there in these pressed pants and a white shirt. I don't know why. He just came out with his guitar and said, I want to write something southern and fun. He said, so, Jeff, I can cover all of that. What are you bringing to the table? But we ended up coming up with this song, and over the years, we keep writing new verses and sending them back and forth. So this one has 3 new verses from me. It's always raining when the tire goes flat. The dog comes in when you put out the cat. We're all getting older, there's no way around that. If it ain't one thing, it's gonna be another. Take a hold of my hand, let's run for cover. We're all alike, all alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night. We all need love, that's all right, we're all alike. Now some are named Pedro and some are named Fritz. Some goes walking, some just sits. Some eats hash browns, some eats grits. There ain't a dime's bit of difference between left and right. If you got a stick of candy, everybody wants a bite. We're all alike, all alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night. We all need love, and that's all right, we're all alike. A black man, a white man, a Muslim and a Jew walk into a bar and say, how do you do? Along comes a Baptist and a young Hindu. Well, they have a couple drinks, they sing a couple songs. The proof's in the pudding, we can all get along. We're all alike, all alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night. We all need love, that's all right, we're all alike. And we all get cold when the fire goes out. Confidence is shaken when you give in to doubt. So we do the hokey pokey, because that's what it's all about. And we take a trip to Canada or Kathmandu, where they laugh and they cry and they walk like you. We're all alike, all alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night, and we all need love. And that's all right, we're all alike. Red and yellow, black and tan, all the world's children must understand that it might be the fire or the frying pan, but we can make it all better if we get together with an open heart and a willing hand. We're all alike, all alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night. We all need love, and that's all right, we're all alike. Yeah, I'm just like you, and you're just like me. Yeah. Thank you. Jeff Bartley wrote that with me. The other tribute song that I wanted to record was Colorado's greatest songwriter, Chuck Pyle. He and I had been friends for many years. And he got over this way occasionally, but mostly he liked to stay in the West. And his music was just full of the West. His guitar playing spoke of the West. It was a loping style. You know, you could almost see him riding that horse backwards, you know, across the plain, you know. He always used to say, you know, always ride the horse in the direction he's going. the Zen cowboy had some wonderful things to say. And when he died back in his backyard, basically. He lives in Palmer Lake, Colorado. And he was fly fishing in Palmer Lake. And he had a heart attack or a stroke, I can't remember which, and died in the water there. So for the next 3 years, Swallow Hill, the big Denver concert hall, sponsored a group sing where all these various artists would come together and sing Chuck Pyle songs. And I was invited every time, but I was only able to go the third time. And I decided, what in the world can I play? And I cheated on one song because Chuck recorded one of my songs. So nobody really knew I was playing my song and it wasn't Chuck's. They thought it was his. So that worked pretty well. But I had to do that because the song that I chose of his, I decided to learn it his way. His guitar playing style was so unique. And there were people who would say, you and Chuck, you play alike. He and I would look at each other and roll our eyes because we knew better. I knew he couldn't do what I did, and he knew I couldn't do what he did. And he worked out this song, and I still don't have it down pat. So I'm going to start out trying to do it his way, but I will lapse into my own style, I'm sure. But it's the title song from his Affected by the Moon album. Gypsy guitar, violins play, cafe bar, Champs-Élysées. The music's hot, tempo's up, ready or not, falling in love. Far from the frantic pace of life so today sweet, this out-of-the-way place carries you and me to romantic consequences, coming to our senses, and not a moment too soon. So very affected by the moon. Dancing hip to hip, oh, s'il vous plaît, beautiful lips, sip Cabernet. And what is this if not time out of time? A stolen kiss, the perfect crime. Far from the frantic pace of life so today sweet, this out-of-the-way place carries you and me to romantic consequences, coming to our senses, not a moment too soon. So very affected by the moon. Chuck Pyle song. I'm scared to death of the next one. So I'll drink a lot of water. It's a song that I wrote. A lot of times we were told that songwriters should never write about songwriting. But I'm a folkie, and I don't have to answer to anybody in the music industry or anybody else, so I don't care. But it has to be admitted that up until about 10 years ago, I had written some 1,500 songs, and 1,000 of them were for rock and roll bands. And I was a prolific writer. And then, as I got a little older, it started to dry up a little bit, And I wasn't writing anymore. I couldn't write. I'd go back and listen to an old album. I said, God, I wish I could write that song again. And I settled in with it. I figured, this is what happens. I heard Bob Dylan say something to that effect. I heard Paul Simon say something to that effect, and I thought, no problem. But I was still occasionally writing, but nothing like I used to do. And I figured my muse had abandoned me. You're too old, Jack, and you don't get this anymore. And we have a creativity retreat that two friends of mine in the group called Still on the Hill. We hold it twice a year. And Donna of the duo comes up with these amazing exercises. And so she, just to make a long story short, she invented a prompt that was just absolutely off the wall. Had nothing to do with anything. It was a brick. She laid a brick in the floor. She said, write about that. I won't belabor you with the details. But the fact is, I came up with this song, and I had no idea what it was about. And I often write and have no idea what I'm writing about. And it's the right brain way. You should try it. Just start writing what feels good. And then when it was all over, I realized that I'd written a song about my muse, which had not abandoned me at all. Caught between rocks and hard places, out where the trolley don't run, where there's nothing at all. I see towering walls and a stone in the place of the sun. Caught between time and the railroad, the engineer calls out my name. With the steam in my eyes, I hear only goodbyes. As the train pulls away, I remain. Down where the coal turns to diamonds, dreams trickle up to my bed. Down where the words flow in silence, I'm startled by songs in my head. In my head, songs in my head. Suddenly, dawn comes a-calling and breaks like a red chandelier. As the darkness recedes, I pick up the pieces and fashion a song from my fears. Caught in the light of enchantment, I dance like a child in a storm. Through a hole in the sky shines the muse's bright eye, and I dream like the day I was born. Down where the coal turns to diamonds, dreams trickle up to my bed. Down where the words flow in silence, I'm startled by songs in my head. In my head, songs in my head. Thank you. There's a new one. Thank you very much. Yeah, that song and the Chuck Pyle song will both be on the new album. They're already on there. I just got to get Judy to do the graphics so we can put it out for you. Okay. Do I stay serious or do I go wacko? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Songwriters write, I get around Kerrville and I hear all these people. They write all these serious songs, very touching, deep-feeling relationship songs and songs about peace, love. And sometimes it's just more fun just to write something just wacky as hell, And I tend to do that a lot, but I've never gone this far off the deep end. I'm sure all of you have experienced a cluttered mind, a mind that is just so full of stuff. The great Chuck Pyle once said, the lights are on and everybody's at home. And so, trying to go to sleep, and there are things that just keep peppering you. So I decided to write a song not about a cluttered mind, but a song that was a cluttered mind all the way through. A brain's a terrible thing, a mass of confusion and a whole lot of pain, like a Tupperware party in the back of a skull, full of blabber and chatter till you're addled and dull, sending a worry and a accordion or two, children, chickens, and a train running through, forgetting, regretting, turning the screw. What you gonna do now, boy? What you gonna do now? Swing high, I'm overloaded and I'm about to cry. My mind's as cluttered as the midnight sky. Swing high. Now I'm up the creek with no relief, running through the alley like a common thief. So I buy me a ticket and I take my seat up above the altar where I wash my feet. And I come to my senses and I look around, shake my head and start climbing down. I get to the bottom but it can't be found. What you gonna do now, boy? What you gonna do now? Swing high, I'm overloaded and about to cry. My mind's as cluttered as the midnight sky. Swing high. You can tell me the numbers to economize, better rather lose it all and apologize. Tell me your names again. Damn, I forgot 'em. I'm a bucket full of noise with a hole in the bottom and 1, 2, 3. I lost my way like a mockingbird with too much to say. When the men in white coats come to take me away, what am I gonna do now, boy? What am I gonna do now? Swing high, I'm overloaded and about to cry. My mind's as cluttered as the midnight sky. Swing high. Like a penny arcade on a Saturday night, a pinball bouncing from light to light. Thinking never got me from here to there. Down through the cellar, up a crooked stair, I'm lost in the crowd, turning blue, so I climb on the ceiling for a better view. I was looking for God, but I found you. What you gonna do now, boy? What you gonna do now? Swing high, I'm overloaded and about to cry. My mind's as cluttered as the midnight sky. Swing high, oh, swing high. That song will be on the new CD, but don't let that keep you from buying it. Okay. One more song. Now, I get to play with my friend Ronny again, which I love to do. Thank you all for being here. Thanks to Wolfma for inviting me to play once again. I've always had the best time playing with those folks. Play the song, I play at every concert. I haven't played it lately because I've been doing as much over the last 2 years. And a song I wrote for my mother. Song I wrote about food. My mother was a person who, when she was a young teen, she went up to Lancaster, South Carolina. She was a cotton farmer's daughter. So she went up to Lancaster, the home of the largest cotton mill under one roof in the world. And she went up there to the airport where Amelia Earhart was speaking, telling people to join the Civil Air Patrol because there was a war brewing. She met Amelia Earhart, joined the Civil Air Patrol, and at age 17, she was solo piloting a Piper Cub over the cotton fields. What were you doing in 1937? When I was 17, I was busy. My mother was saving the world. She married my daddy, for better or worse. I say better because God knows I'm here. And military man. Military bases had golf courses. Oh, man, had all kinds of golf courses. Great golf courses sometimes. My mother found that out. My mother was an athlete. My daddy was truly dismayed to find out that my mother could kick his ass in golf. She had 7 holes in one in tournament play. And humiliating. But this song is more about food, and it's because I'm an only child, spoiled brat, military kid, psychotherapist dream. Here I stand, you know. And she would always feed me in the way of spoiled brat needs to be fed, in the way is, Southern food, the kind of stuff, green slimy stuff that makes Yankees get sick when they see us eating it in Cracker Barrel, you know. And she would feed me that stuff, and it explains my girlish figure, of course. And this is a little bit on the rock and roll side. And you wouldn't think that a mama song would be a rock and roll song, but my mother loved rock and roll. So she was my greatest supporter throughout my career. And my buffer against Lieutenant Captain Major Colonel Williams, who often said, Jack, I love you, and I'll support you in everything you do, but I just really hate to see you die alone and broke on the streets. Here I stand, Dad. Check it out. Early Sunday morning, I'm stretching and I'm yawning, shaking off the night before. Somewhere in the dwelling, something mighty good is smelling. There's a racket on the kitchen floor. Papa's chopping wood, the fire's burning good, and a kettle's bubbling on the eye. And there's a ham in the oven, Mama's stirring something, son. Touch it and I'll tan your hide. Oh, Mama Lou, I'm staying here with you. Cook me something sweet tonight. That old porch swings creaking, Mama's tea kettle shrieking on a sunny Thanksgiving day. Wipe the smile off my face, 'cause Grandpa's saying grace, but any kid would rather eat than pray. I love my collard greens, I want some black-eyed peas, I want sweet potatoes on the side. Yes, an okra gets my vote as it slides down my throat, and of course I want my chicken fried. Oh, Mama Lou, I'm staying here with you. Cook me something sweet tonight. Now the tea is double sweet. It cools me when I eat. Smell biscuits rising slow in the pan. Mama's cobbler full of berries, topped with ice cream and cherries, makes a beggar out of any man. My memories roam to that old family home where it smelled like heaven all the time. And Grandmama never changed from a fire to a range. That's music to this heart of mine. Oh, Mama Lou, I'm staying here with you. Cook me something sweet tonight. Play it, Jack. Okay. Now there's a pound cake baking. My taste buds are quaking. Mama's trickling lemon icing on top. I still be licking that bowl at 100 years old if Mama hadn't ever stopped. Oh, but stop, yes, she did. And us broken-hearted kids, we never let a blessed word go by. That my mama's gentle spirit didn't fly by and hear it, raising love in us in reply. Oh, Mama love, I'm staying here with you. Cook me something sweet tonight. Cook me something sweet tonight. Something sweet tonight. People often ask me what in the world all that scat singing has to do with a song about your mama. It's because she loved it when I would play jazz and I'd practice in the back. And when I put the trumpet down, I would do that Louie and Ella thing that I love so much. Everybody. Singing like Louis Prima. Thanks, Mom. Thank you all so much. Thank you. I'll be back with Ronnie. 15 minutes.
Jack Williams. Okay, we're going to take a short break. Of course, Jack has a wonderful selection of CDs downstairs for those of you who are in the building. There are also some flyers down there that on our talk about our upcoming events, so pick up some of those. There's also a flyer down there for the Steve Mandel Memorial Fund, and it looks like this. You may wonder about the connection between Steve Mandel Memorial Fund and our performers this evening, but you may know that Ronny Cox played in the movie Deliverance. He played one half of the dueling banjos scene. He was the person you saw on stage, person who played the guitar on the soundtrack was Steve Mandel. Now, Steve was a resident of the Baltimore area here for several years, many years, until he passed away a few years ago. And his wife had set up a memorial fund to help students in the music business. I'll just read what it says here. The scholarship fund is intended to honor Steve's memory and benefit those who want to learn, develop, enhance their music education in folk, bluegrass, old-timey, and other acoustic Americana styles. So if you know of anyone who might benefit from that, or might want to donate to that, there are two separate flyers down there. They look very similar, but one is for donating and one is for registering for the fund. And I guess the last thing I'd like to remind those of you who are not in the building is this would be a really good time to make a donation to support the artists this evening. 100% of the donations that are made will go to tonight's artists, so please be generous. And we'll be back here in about 15, 20 minutes.
you, sir. Oh, okay.
Excuse me. I can take this off. Okay. Again, thank you all for coming. We're getting started here. The first thing we will do is have a drawing for well, this was a DVD. This is a DVD of the Chad Mitchell Trio's final concert that was presented by us back in 2014. And we're going to draw one. It's a red ticket. And it is, last three digits are 522. Anybody? All right. Okay, now I just want to say thank you to a few folks here. First of all, the staff here at the Arts Barn, Cindy McJane, and our sound technician, Mark Wright.
Yes.
All right. And the young lady who is bringing all of this entertainment to those of you who are not here in the building, that's Abigail Wertman. And then we have a staff of volunteers, most of them downstairs, some scattered around other places. But my wife, Yvonne, took your money at the door. Eric Horowitz did not make it. Tom Bryson is around here somewhere. Fred Cherney, Bill Mims, Steve Rosenberg, and Joanne Nana. I would like to give a really special thank you to Shelley Kaplan, who provided food and drink for our performers and staff.
Yum.
Normally it wouldn't be a really special thank you, but Shelley spent the last several weeks putting together this concert last night that was 14 performers and just a tremendous amount of work. And I had no idea that she would still be able to do the food for us the next day. So it was great that she was able to help out. I'd like to introduce a couple of people that none of you know, but you've seen their name. Down here are John McGee and Valerie McGee. All of your credit card charges show up as McGee.net, and so these are the McGees that take your money. Okay? They came all the way down from Sarasota Springs for this concert tonight. Actually, they were on the way home from Florida or South Carolina. Yeah. Okay. So. But their timing was terrific. And the last person I would just like to let everybody know is here, and that's Mary Cliff of the Tradition Show on the radio. She's been doing that for many, many years, and she was able to make it tonight. Just a quick note on our upcoming events. Next weekend, we will be co-sponsoring a concert down in Virginia. It'll be Ann Hills. It's one not to be missed. On April 3rd, in this very building, we will have David Mallet. And on May the 15th in Rockville, we'll have more information about it soon, we will have a side-by-side reunion concert. So Doris is coming back from Hawaii, and we're going to get Doris and Sean back together. All right, let's get on with the music. Ronny has said many times that he doesn't like long introductions. And I'm going to stick to that, I hope. But his theater career started right here in the D.C. area at the Arena Stage. As I mentioned before, his first movie role was in Deliverance and played in the dueling banjo scenes. He's been in many, many movies since, but what he really likes to do is what he's going to do right now, and we're all going to enjoy the second half of this show. So, Ronny Cox and Jack Williams.
Thank you. First of all, just let me say before I even start, isn't Jack Williams magnificent? but I got a bit of a gripe about that. Following Jack Williams is a little like volunteering to be ugly. But no, Jack and I have been friends since 1994. We were drawn together by a songwriter, Mickey Newberry. Jack played with Mickey for 6 or 7 years.
The last 7 years of his life.
Yeah, and Mickey and I were really close friends. Primarily, he was my god as a songwriter, but we had like 3 and 4 hour phone conversations, and so, and I don't know if I should admit this, but I was over 50 years old before I ever wrote a song. I used to do 2-hour gigs and do nothing but Mickey Newberry songs because I loved his music so much, and lyrically and musically, I just didn't think I could measure. So I just did Mickey Newberry tunes. So because of that, we're going to start with a Mickey Newberry tune. Whoa-de-lo-de-lee, I am gone to Alabama. Gone to Alabama, I am gone to Mobile, all along the bay. Ladies playing with their children on a lazy summer's day. Ships are in the harbor, sitting on a sunset like a watercolor picture. Life's mighty good. In the year of 47, it was just like heaven in the year of 48. Whoa-de-lo-de-lee, I am gone to Alabama. Gone to Alabama, I am gone to Mobile, all along the bay. Ladies playing with their children on a lazy summer's day. Ain't it funny how we said in time of leaving, we'd be coming back someday. And ain't it funny, now in our time of grieving, what was really leaving was not me, but Mobile Bay. Whoa-de-lo-de-lee, I am gone to Alabama. Gone to Alabama, I am gone to Mobile, all along the bay. Ladies playing with their children, on a lazy summer's. A 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's that one.
I love Jack's song that he wrote for his mom about the food and stuff. And his mom's name was Lou. My mother's name was Lou too. And so I wanted to. I'll preface it this way: where I grew up in New Mexico, and where I grew up in New Mexico, you could say the most awful, terrible, hurtful things to somebody and about somebody, as long as you ended it with "bless her heart." I'd probably like that around here too. But in New Mexico, there was another bless, and that was "bless my soul." And we had this lady in our hometown. Her name was Grandma Sims. She wasn't actually my grandma. She lived across the back fence, but we all called her Grandma Sims. And she used to come over and make us hot water cornbread. Have any of you ever had hot water? It's not like traditional cornbread. Let me see if I can explain it. Well, if you think about it, every culture of the world has a recipe for fried dough. The Danes have Ebelskjør and French beignets and sopapillas, fried wonton, Krispy Kremes. And hot water cornbread is actually more of a southern dish and goes all the way back to pioneer days. And the recipe is, I'm sorry, oh yeah. The recipe is so simple that I'm just going to put it in the first verse of the song. And this is the entire recipe. You need 2 cups cornmeal, finely ground. Make sure it's white when you mill it. Then some oil, about an inch deep, real hot, not smoking in the skillet. 4 spoons of flour, teaspoon of salt. Then you pour from that whistling pot. 2 cups of boiling water. Be careful, don't you spill it. Now comes the tricky part. You gotta add the water to all that dry stuff you got. The only way to do it is to put your hands in and do it quickly, cause it's hot. Drop in the skillet when they're round. Turn them over once they're brown. Feast for hungry people, that's a lot. Hot water cornbread, my grandma's cornbread. I see her in the kitchen, oh, I miss her so. I hear my grandma saying, bless my soul. Well, it takes me back to childhood Sunday mornings. Grandma singing in some mystery key. I hear my daddy saying, rise and shine, you lazy cowboy. Someone's in there cooking up a special treat for us to eat, and I know just what he's talking about, and I jump out of bed. Gotta be my grandma's sweet cornbread. Hot water cornbread, my grandma's cornbread. I see her in the kitchen, oh, I miss her so. I hear my grandma saying, bless my soul. Now, I ain't had any hot water cornbread since I grew up and moved away. The doctors nowadays say if you eat that fried stuff, you're gonna be hell to pay. I guess they're right, but here's what I think. Spend your life trying to be in the pink, you don't really live any longer, it just seems that way. Hot water cornbread, my grandma's cornbread. I see her in the kitchen, oh, I miss her so. I hear my grandma saying, bless my soul. I hear my grandma saying, bless my soul. Grandma used to say, bless my soul. Thank you. I can't tell you what a joy it is to play for you guys. Jack and I did the show together 2 nights ago, and then we did the Reba tribute last night. And these are the first shows that I've done in 2 years. So, and I never feel more alive or vital or happy than when I'm getting to play. So, thank you for allowing me to come and and do. Now, I live in Sherman Oaks, California, which is one of the suburbs of Los Angeles. And one day I was working, I was doing some gardening out in my front yard, and I noticed a little lady on the sidewalk out in front of my house. Let me tell you about her. She had to be in her mid to late 80s, I would say, and she was very primly dressed. She had on a little blue crinoline dress, lace collar, little white gloves that went almost to her elbow, little white pocketbook dangling from her elbow, a little white hat, and she was standing out and peering down the street. She was standing beside a sign out there, and I'm pretty sure that she thought she was standing at a bus stop because she kept looking down the street as though she were expecting a bus. Now, the top of the sign was obscured with leaves and branches and stuff. I happen to know it says no parking on this side of the street. But I think she thought it was a bus stop. And so she kept looking, and I could see that she was just getting more and more upset. And finally, I couldn't stand it anymore. And I went out and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, could I help you?" And she turned and she said, "Yes, young man." She called me young man. She said, "Yes, young man." She said, "Is this where I catch the bus to Baltimore?" And I think she thought Baltimore was just a stop down. She stood on the corner, lost in time, trying to get back somewhere in her mind. "Mister, can you help me find the place I'm looking for? I'm waiting for the bus to Baltimore." Pale blue dress, neatly pressed, collar made of lace, snow white hair, coal black eyes, angelic face. "I really need to get back home, 'cause I've got so many chores. So I'm waiting for the bus to Baltimore." That's where my two babies lie asleep, where Dad and Harvey decorate the tree. Ruth still has a fever. Kathy scraped her knee. They need me. Then a younger woman came, took her by the hand. "Have you been telling stories, Mama, to this nice old man? The house she had in Maryland burned down in '94. Still she's waiting for the bus to Baltimore. 'Cause that's where her two babies lie asleep, where her daddy decorates the Christmas tree. My sister Ruth has moved to Phoenix, so all that's left is me, and she needs me. And sometimes late at night, on the edge of sleep, I think about that woman on the street, and I wonder if she found the peace she was longing for. Oh, I hope she found the bus to Baltimore. Thank you. I'm delighted to say that the Alzheimer's Awareness Organization has chosen that song to use in their campaign to raise awareness of Alzheimer's, and so I'm. Now, I can almost point to the exact day that I knew that I wanted to become an actor. When I was a kid growing up in New Mexico, every Saturday matinee I would go to see a Western movie. And most of the time it was Gene Autry or Roy Rogers or Red Ryder or somebody like that. But one Saturday, I saw a different kind of Western. I saw a Western it was called The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, that was directed by John Huston. And I just saw it again recently, and wow, that film still holds up so well. Anyway, from that moment on, I knew that I wanted to become an actor, and that's all I've ever wanted. I knew from the time I was 13 that I wanted, and I used to tell people, well, look up at one of these days and you'll see that I'm going to be this actor. And no one believed me, but that was true. And you'd think because I wanted to become an actor, I would be a fan of the actors in the film. But I wasn't. I became a fan of the director of the film. And I'm delighted to say that in the last years of his life, I got to be friends, and I got to go and play poker with John Huston. John Huston was dying of emphysema, but he loved to play poker. And so he would invite 4 or 5 of us over of an afternoon, and we would go and play poker for a couple of hours and until he got tired. And then he would have a meal brought in it, and then we would sit around for the next couple of hours having some of the most wonderful, scintillating, and wonderful conversations I've ever been involved in. I so treasure that time with John. And then, like I said, he was dying of emphysema. So the very night that he died was so dramatic that I wanted to write a song about it. You see, in addition to poker, John also loved songs of the Mexican Revolution. So the night he was dying, we were supposed to be having an Irish wake, and John and Maricela were in the bedroom, and the rest of us were out in the living room playing music. But we weren't playing Irish music, we were playing Mexican music. And I don't know if it's the music or what it was, but at some point, John opened his eyes and turned to Maricela, and he said, "Do we have enough rifles?" And Maricela said, "Yes, John, we have plenty of rifles." He said, "Yes, but do we have enough bullets?" She said, "Yes, John, we have plenty of bullets." So he took her hand and he held it up and he said, "Then give them hell." And those were his last words. And so when I was writing the song, I wanted to put a bit of that Mexican flavor at the beginning. But instead of a Mexican revolutionary song, I remembered an old folk song that I'd learned, I think, in college, about a town in Mexico that was so poor that they only had one burro to do the work for the entire town. And when the burro died, they gave the burro a funeral. And so I thought that John would love the irony of being associated with a funeral song for a jackass. Ya se murió el burro, que aquí arriba la vinagre, ya lo llevaremos de esta vida miserable. Que tu ru 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 ru, que tu ru 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 ru, que tu ru 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 ru, que tu ru 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 ru. He loved the game of poker. It's how I knew him best. By that time he was older. There was a cloud upon his chest. And if he won or lost, his expression never changed. John was a student of the game. He wasn't much of a husband. He was married to his work. There were millions who loved him, and a precious few he hurt. He was a man of vision who saw the world in frames. John was a master of the game. And I saw Sierra Madre when I was just a kid. Somehow I had to find out how he did the things he did. His red badge of courage, his African queen. He taught me about life, casting shadows on a screen. No full house was showing the night John Houston died. Just faithful Maricela sitting by his side. He found her hand and he raised it high, a champ at the final bell. Last thing John said, give him hell. And I saw Sierra Madre when I was just a kid. Somehow I had to find out how he did the things he did. His red badge of courage, the man who would be king. He taught me about life, casting shadows on the screen. He loved the game of poker. It's how I knew him best. By that time he was older. There was a cloud upon his chest. And if he won or if he lost, his expression never changed. John was a student of the game. Thank you. That must have been, John Huston directed that, but Walter Huston, that was his father playing the old man, and Walter Huston was a big star, so it must have been daunting for John Huston to be directing his father, and he also had to talk his dad into playing the role without his false teeth. So that must have been an interesting. Anyway, I can go on and on. I don't know if any of you guys know this or not, but I want to tell you, you may not know this, but my late wife, Mary, she was a true intellectual. And I'm not just, Mary had a PhD in chemistry from Georgetown University. And then she also had a 4-year postdoctoral fellowship with Sloan Kettering in New York, which is probably the most prestigious cancer research organization in the world. And she finished in the 99th percentile on all the graduate tests in America. So we're talking about a really, really, really brilliant woman. And the only reason I'm telling you guys this is to point out her exquisite taste in men. No, I'll tell you something, guys. I figured this out a long time ago, and I'll pass this on to you. The secret, guys, to having a wonderful, successful, loving, fabulous marriage. Marry up. Actually, one time, you'll get a kick out of this. One day, I worked that out by myself. And so I went to Mary once, and I said, Mary, I said, I figured out why we have such a great marriage. She said, why? I said, I married up. And she looked at me totally funny. And she said, what? All men do. Let me ask you, why do women like that joke better than men? No, Mary loved my music, and she only ever had one tiny little criticism. She came to me once. She said, Ronny, your music is wonderful. Said, but don't you think, like maybe once in a blue moon, that you could do a song that just had this much intellectual content? I was kind of hurt. So normally I wouldn't do that, but now that she's gone, I got to tell you, recently I met a professor out at Caltech, and this professor, he has a double PhD. He has a PhD in astrophysics and in theoretical cosmology. I think that's the theory of makeup. I'm not sure, but he told me stuff about the planets and our solar system and just so, I mean, more information. I mean, so much stuff. I don't mean to brag, but I'm pretty smart now. And so I'm going to do this song for you guys. And here again, you might even be a little smarter by the time I finish this song. And just for your information, there's a little quiz in the middle of this song, so get yourself ready to. So this is kind of daunting for you guys, so it's going to be tough. So pay attention to this. Wait, play that again. You know what that is? String theory. Black hole. Mars is red, Saturn is yellow, Pluto used to be a planet, now it's not. Venus is the only planet not named for a fellow, ergo she goes backwards and she's hot. Sir Frederick William Herschel loved to scan the sky, came upon an object he could not identify. He called it Georgium Sidus. His colleagues thought that heinous, so the world's greatest minds changed it to. We're talking facts. Here's the quiz. Ooh, name the brightest planet. Venus. And which one has the fastest wind? That would be Neptune. Which planet spins the quickest on its axis? Jupiter. And which one emits more energy than it takes in? These are the facts. That was Saturn, by the way. Ain't no life on Mars, just a bunch of rusting robots. Maki Maki has no atmosphere. Ceres has fresh water, even more than we got. A Venus day is longer than its year. Jupiter's the biggest, with a massive storm raging, 300 years and still going strong. Mars has giant dust storms, Saturn's rings are icy, Mercury and Neptune. Mercury and Neptune are not mentioned in this song. Now tell the truth, aren't you just a little smarter now?
Oh, yeah.
Well, now that I've talked about Mary, I can't do a show without doing this song for her. For those of you who don't know about me and Mary, Mary moved to my hometown when she was 11 and I was 14. And we started going out together when we were in high school. We were high school sweethearts. And eventually we got married and had kids. And I've never had another girlfriend or another date other than Mary. And when I lost her, it's been 15 years ago now. And I don't mean to be maudlin, but being without Mary has been the hardest thing that I've ever had to go through. And I'm a songwriter, but for 3 years after Mary was gone, I got writer's block. I could, even if I was trying to write some little frivolous nothing song or just a joke song, nothing seemed worthy of being finished even. And a friend of mine, songwriter friend that we all know, Jack Hardy, came to me once and he said, Ronnie, let me give you some advice about that song. He said, just go in the room and write the damn song. He said, because you're just writing it for yourself. And so it doesn't have to be any good, and you don't ever have to play it for anybody else. You're just writing it for yourself. And oddly enough, the simpler you make it, the better it's going to be for you and for everybody else. So stop trying to think you have to write this fantastic song, because that's not the reason for the song. The reason for the song is for you to get through this. And so I'm not saying that this is my best song, but this is the one that got me through. Let her go. Say goodbye. No excuses. No alibis. She's gone away against the wishes of my heart. Late at night, I lie here. She's not with me. I'm alone against the wishes of my heart. My heart has lost its way now. It's been broken in two. After all the time we were together, can't face a day without you. My heart has lost its way now. It's been broken in two. After all the time that we were together, I can't face a day without you. So goodbye. Goodbye. I'm gonna walk away against the wishes of my heart? Oh, against the wishes of my heart. I attended a songwriters retreat up in Michigan several years ago. A place called Lamb's Retreat. I'm sure some of you songwriters have been there before. And the claim to fame at this particular writers retreat is that everybody who attends this weekend will write a song in 48 hours. Well, here's the thing. I'm a songwriter, but I have never been able to write songs quickly. Elephants have babies faster than I write songs. And so I didn't know if I could do it, but I thought I would give it a try. So I was going to try to just force myself to do it. It was in November, several years ago. And as luck would have it, it's in northern Michigan, and I was flying out from California, and as luck would have it, it snowed. And my flight was 4 hours late getting into Detroit. So I'm in Detroit 4 hours late, and I get a phone call from the guy running the retreat, and he said, "Ronny, where are you?" And I said, "The flight was delayed." I said, "I'm just now driving there." And he said, "Well, I'm giving the song assignments now." And he said, "So I'll just have to give you your song assignment in the car, and you can be thinking about it when you get here." I said, "What I'm asking everybody to do, everybody here, I'm asking them to write a love song that's set in their hometown, because that's how we want." And then once you get here, we have specific topics that you can make your love song in your hometown about. So you be thinking about that. And he said, if I remember right, he said, "Don't you come from a little town called Portales, New Mexico?" And I said, "Yeah, Portales, New Mexico, the peanut basin of the nation." And he said, "Yeah, but don't they call it Goober Gulch?" And I said, "Yeah, some smarters do." And he said, "Well, good luck writing a love song set in Goober Gulch." So I'm thinking about that all the way up there, and so I finally get to Harbor Springs. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I got there, and he met me at the front desk, and he said, "I'll get you checked in." He said, "You go in there," and he said, in the performance hall in there, there's a bulletin board that has the topics that you were supposed to write about. And he said, "I want you to pick one topic." There are 12 or 13 of them in there. Go in there. So I went running in there, and then right after I got there, he came in, and I turned to him. I said, "Are you telling me I have to write a love song about in my hometown about the love and compassion of St. Francis of Assisi?" He said, "You looked at the wrong bulletin board, you idiot." He said, "That was for the UU church that meets in here." He said, our bulletin board's over there. So he showed me the other, and I wrote them down. There were like 12 or 13, and he said, "Now, don't try to mess around with it. Pick one of these songs. You got a love song, that's in your hometown, so pick one of these and make that the theme of your song." So here's the list. I had to pick one out of these. A love song about money problems. About an embarrassing moment in your life. Oh, this one. Write a song about America's favorite football team, the Dallas Cowboys. Let me tell you something. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, your favorite beer, gourmet cheese, a chance meeting with an old acquaintance, places you've worked, high school days. Make your love song a Christmas song. Make your love song a wedding song. So pick one of those and go write your song. Well, like I said, I don't write. Well, anyway, here's what happened. You ain't got no money. Your visa was declined. It's what the cashier told me. Said you're holding up the line. The pretty girl behind me rolled her eyes and shook her head. I was digging in my jeans for my last $10 bill, and I wish that I was dead. But that's life in Portales. The only place we're better than is Dallas. That life in Goober Gulch. God help me, please. Well, I was there buying beer. She was picking up some cheese. And while the cashier was engaged in higher mathematics, we began to shoot the breeze. She said, I think I know you. Didn't you used to work down at Sears? I said, yeah, but that was back when I was in high school, during my second junior year. But that life in Portales. I told her my favorite team was whoever was playing Dallas. That's life in Goober Gulch. God help me, please. She said, I see you bought some Rollin' Rock beer. Yes, ma'am, that's the only brand I drink. And I said, I see you purchased some Velveeta. She said, yeah, them fancy foreign cheeses stink. But that life in Portales. Who'd have thunk that I'd run into Alice? That's life in Goober Gulch. God help me, please. Now, I got a whole lot of so-called sophisticated friends who turn their nose up at Rollin' Rock. And those same damn snobby people go for cheese that smells like a week-old sock. This was a match made in heaven. Was the best day of my life. Because come next Christmas morning, I'm gonna make her my third wife. Merry Christmas from Portales. Even St. Francis of Assisi hates Dallas. Merry Christmas from me and Alice. God help me, please. Rollin' Rock Velveeta cheese. Now that is songwriting. Well, I've come to the end of the evening. Thank you all for having playing with Jack. What a pleasure. As I've talked before, I grew up in New Mexico. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but a little foal born in the wild only has 6 minutes to get up and get moving. You normally worry about the wildebeest in Africa, worrying about the lions, but a little foal born in Nevada only has 6 minutes. So imagine what it's like to be a mare that's just given birth to a little wobbly-legged guy. It's cold, snowy, predators all around. She's got to get him to a safe place. Sanctuary. Where do you go with a brand new foal? Ground so solid neath the blowing snow. Sanctuary. Fought off the coyotes, fooled the lion. Got Black Hawk Creek in the back of her mind. Sanctuary. Sanctuary. There's a south side pocket with the rim rocks indent. Cheatgrass water and a sun descending. If her colt's gonna make it, his life's dependent on sanctuary. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Morning breaks pretty on the canyon floor, the place that she's been looking for. She tests the wind till she's sure. Sanctuary. There's a south side pocket where the rim rocks ended. Cheatgrass water and a sun ascending. Lord, would you give him some time to spend in sanctuary? Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Where do you go with a brand new foal? Sanctuary. Sanctuary. soon.